Be kind. Do good. Welcome to Lighthearted Life and Collectibles.
Hi everybody, I've got your nephew Kylo here, and he's got his outfit off and it's in the dryer because I just did a drink and went with him earlier that turned into the same scenario that happened with Oscar and Tasha over at Pixie Mommy's Reborns. He got the whole outfit soaking wet. Luckily it didn't get on me, but I started feeling it on the back of my arm. So his little pretty blue outfit is in the dryer. And I changed his diaper into a dry one. So I was like, you know what? I'm sure that everybody would like to just see him sitting here in his little booties and his diaper because he is just a little chunky baby boy that is pleasant to look at. So we're going to feed him, and this is going to be a role play video and discussion, as you can tell, because you can hear his little baby sounds and stuff. So I like to call this kind of video a tweener because it's in between a role play and a discussion topic. And normally, people don't add baby sounds to discussion topics when they're showing their dolls, but I really like to do that, and so that's what I'm going to do. So that's why you hear the little baby sounds. And we're going to feed him from this vintage Playtex bottle that's got a nipple that's modified to where the hole is bigger because Playtex bottles have teeny tiny holes. So I actually put more than one hole in it, and I poked it with a big diaper pin. That way the holes would be bigger. And so what was going on with it before, I think what was happening was I didn't have his mouth lubricated enough for it to go in, and so water was leaking kind of out the side. So I put powder, the matting powder, on the nipple and on his mouth. So now we're going to feed him. I love the way this bottle looks in his mouth. Look. So he's going to get ready to go night-night, but we've got his clothes in the dryer because that little outfit also makes a really cute night outfit as well, especially with a little hat, which I may put the hat on him at the end just so you can see it on him, but I just love his hair so much I don't want to cover it up because it's so cute. Oh, she did a fabulous job hurting him. But what I wanted to talk about, and I want to do this in a very friendly manner. You can tell by the title of my video, it says, "Don't do this." And I don't want it to sound like I'm being fussy or gripey or anything like that, but at the same time, I know that a lot of you have probably experienced this very same thing that I'm about to talk about. And I just dropped this little burnt cloth. I'll pick it up. So anyway, I think I put him 5 ounces of water in here. And it'll take him a few minutes, even though he will drink it pretty fast because I modified this nipple to work pretty fast. So anyways, this is going to be like it's 2 don't do that kind of things. One is, please don't ask people for their babies right after they get them. And like I said, this is not addressed to everyone. This is just a very friendly talk about why you shouldn't do this. Because I know I don't like it, and I know y'all don't like it. So it's just a friendly talk about why we shouldn't do this. I mean, especially when someone just gets a brand new baby and you see them gushing over this baby about how much they love it and all that kind of stuff. And then you're asking for the doll. Like, I want to buy this doll. What's the price? And so, don't do that. It's just, we frown upon it. Like, we reborn collectors, I mean, you may be one that does not, but I do. I frown upon that because I kind of consider it rude for someone to come and comment on your brand new baby and ask you to sell it to them. Like, how much do you want for it? Because I think unless it has a price or a for sale sign, in the title or whatever, you should automatically assume that that baby is not for sale. So, yeah, that happened with him. And y'all know how much I love this baby and how long I waited for him. Like anyone that's been following my channel knows the whole process of how long I waited for him and just enjoying. It was almost like a real pregnancy, just enjoying the wait and the nesting and all that. It was a lot of fun. So, with that being said, I'm not upset about it, but if you're inquiring about the price of the baby, as in like you want to buy one like it, I also, unless you're really close to that person, I don't think you should question people about what they pay for their dolls. I think the right way to go about that, of course, my opinion only, someone else might think, oh, I don't think it's a big deal. But I think the right way to go about that would be to contact the artist and say, hey, I watched so-and-so's video, I watched them open their baby, can you quote me a price? Because honestly, depending on like the type of hair you get, what kind of details you want, the whole 9 yards, costs are going to be different for the same sculpt because you might get a different quality hair that costs a little more or a little less or something like that. And of course, he's a closed-eyed baby, but if you have an open-eyed sculpt, eyes are going to make a difference because if you get German glass eyes, they're going to be around $50, and you can get polyglass eyes for around $10, and just really cheap acrylic eyes for even cheaper than that. But you know what I mean, like those kind of things are going to go into it too. So I think the most proper way, I guess, is to ask who the artist is if they don't mention it, and if they do, we just got visited by a little fly that just came in here. Did y'all see that? But yeah, I think that's the proper way to do it, is to contact the artist for a price, because the person is not selling the doll. They're not selling for the artist. They're just presenting you the baby they got from the artist. So don't do that. Don't ask people to sell you their doll, especially right after they first get it, and you see that they're just crazy about it. Now, there is an exception to that, in my opinion, where if you're a really close friend with someone and you private message them and be like, hey, love your new baby or whatever, if you ever decide you want to adopt the baby out, I'm interested. But still, you would have to be a close friend with that person to even do that. Like, I wouldn't just randomly message people on Instagram and be like, hey, so in my opinion, that would be the proper etiquette for that if it's a close friend and you just want to let them know that you're interested if they ever decide to sell. He's almost done with this, y'all. Look at that. He drinks pretty fast. His drink and wet system works really good. We're going to sit him up just a little bit so it can run through the tube really good. I've been watching that too. I'll be like feeding him and saying how good it comes through the tube. So yeah, I'm just a good eater. But here's the second don't do that I would like to talk about. Put this little fur cloth under there. I resituated him, and his tube didn't like that. It's like, nope, I don't want to be that way. Alright, so let's just keep him flat. More flat. Another thing I would like to talk about of don't do that is don't question someone about why they would spend, quote unquote, that kind of money on a doll. I, for one, am one of those collectors. I think I'm full, Mommy. I'm spitting up. I'm one of those collectors that definitely use my dolls as a therapy tool. So to be questioned about, why would you spend that type of money? Let your stuff run through your tube there. And that is the reason why you would burp on your baby. Tasha talked about that in her video. It's fun, a fun part of the experience, but when you have the drinking wet, and you have them leaned back, you need to give it a chance to go down to the diaper. And she was explaining that in her last video with Oscar also. And that's true, because if you don't, it builds up in the mouth. That's why I had started coming back on him, because I wasn't giving it a chance to go all the way down. Because when you have them in a lay-in position, it'll like keep the tube and all that. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. I don't think that anybody has the right to ask someone that. And here's why. Like I said, I use these babies as a therapeutic tool. Some people do not. Some people do. Some people are just collectors only. And I am a collector, but I'm more of a reborn mommy, and I also use these babies for therapy. Oh, that's a big bird. Big bird. He says, I feel better now. We're going to see if he'll finish his bottle now. His blue line is filling up, so he definitely peed down into his diaper, so that's what we wanted. Finish. That's what it was, because now it's not leaking. But, you wouldn't question someone about why they spent X amount of dollars on a therapy session with a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a counselor, or whatever. And you wouldn't feel comfortable questioning someone about why they spend money on medication for anxiety or depression. So I would put this in the same category, as it's a tool and part of what helps me deal with my anxiety. And so it's really, this person asked me this. It's a friend, not a doll collecting friend, but I do have people that are not doll collectors on my Instagram. I actually had someone to unfollow me about a year or so ago that said, I'm unfollowing your Instagram because all you do is post pictures of your dolls. Oh, so I was just like, okay, bye. And anyway, this person is just a friend that I have known for years. And so she was like, how can you justify spending that kind of money on a doll? Because she had seen where I shared where he came from, and she went to his artist page and all that, and was like, I guess, seeing some of the prices of the babies or whatever. I will say that he is a very affordable, very high-end luxury doll. He is definitely on the more affordable side, and I paid payments and all that. That's how I afforded to get him, and it took months to get him. But it's frankly none of anybody's business, and you shouldn't question people about that, because you wouldn't question them about medication and psychologist visits or anything like that, anything they needed for their mental health. So why question this? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's not hurting anybody, so don't do that. If you're one of those people that think that it's okay to reach out to someone and in any kind of way say anything about what they use to help them with their depression, anxiety, even if you have some sort of physical illness. I mean, having these babies when you're sick is also very beneficial and therapeutic. So yeah, don't do that. Just don't do that. So in other words, just to recap, don't ask somebody for their brand new baby that they just got. Don't ask the price. Don't ask for sale. Don't ask how much. Just don't do that. And secondly, don't question someone why they use these babies for a therapy tool, because there's nothing wrong with it. And we know they're not real babies. We're not trying to say they're real babies. We know they're dolls. It's just something that we enjoy. And I talked about this in my other drinking wet video with Kylo. Don't ever stop playing. That is like the biggest stress reliever ever, is to find something that you enjoy and just play. And if dolls are not for you, then find something else that you really enjoy. Look how blue that line is, y'all. He's got a wet diaper. So I wonder if I can successfully not show his junk again like I did in the last video. Alright, I'm going to pull this diaper up and pull this diaper out. I think I did it. So there we go. I'm going to go see if his clothes are dry. And if they are, we'll put them back on him. Even though I enjoy looking at him like this so much. Oops. I also love him in that little outfit just as much. Like, it is so cute. I love that powder blue outfit. It is precious on him. There we go. Yeah. Let's get you on Mommy's chest. There you go. Alright, look at him. Oh. So I'm going to do some huggy, cuddly time with him and then get his outfit out of the dryer and redress him. And we will see you in our next video. Until then, always remember.
Be kind. Do good. This has been Lighthearted Life and Collectibles.